All right, so I want to take a minute and talk about the new Black Label bug. Talk about a few things about it, the reason that I designed it the way I did, some of the ways that I like to rig it, just some good general information about this bait. So the Black Label bug, this is the standard bug. It comes in two sizes. This is the standard. It's 4 inches long. This is the 3.5 inch version of the Black Label bug, the Bug Junior. So that's the two sizes. That's the two different lengths. The profile of them is pretty much the same. But if you look at the bug, some of the things about the bug that give it some uniqueness is the bug has a unique set of tapered appendages on the end of them. They're not your standard hard wall type appendages like a lot of baits have. And this to me just makes a more fluid fluttering action. It's more natural. It's not just a kick real hard and then immediately stop. It also, to me, it moves better at a real slow rate of speed. It takes less to get it to move because there's not as much resistance on the other side. So that's one of the things about the bug that's a little different. And the side appendages as well as the end of the tails have these unique wedged shaped appendages on the end. The other thing about the bug that you'll notice that's different from most creature baits like this is the bug has the ribbed body on one side, but the top side has just a smooth, slick body. Now, for years, and this is kind of a pet peeve of mine, and I fixed it in this bait. For years, a lot of the baits that have been on the market have had these stair step rings on the top and the bottom. Kind of the whole center mass of the bait is compromised around these rings. And I know the rings offer some benefits. I know they move water. I know they do things, but to me, there's a few major problems with the rings. The number one problem with the rings is when I rig a bait that's solid rings, it's difficult to find center of that bait. And I like for my hook, especially in certain applications, to be in the dead center of the bait. That's especially important to me if I'm using the bait as a trailer, or if I'm rigging it on on like say a wobble head, or even if I'm Texas rigging it. I like the hook to be in the center of the bait. It stabilizes the bait. It helps the bait not lay on its side, which is important because if the bait lays on its side, when it hits the bottom, your appendages are off to the side. They don't have that nice crawfish type stance on the bottom. They just look messed up. So the flat surface enables me to, if you notice on this bug, by making the top side of it flat, I was able to put a center line in the bottom of this bait. And it has kind of a crawfish shape, then it turns to the center line. I put that center line there so I know every time I rig this bait, if my hook point comes to that center line, I've got the bait rigged 100% perfectly straight. The other thing I like about it is the tip of my hook. Like say if I'm using a straight shank hook, this is a wobble head, but same difference. If I'm using a straight shank or a EWG style hook, the point of my hook oftentimes when I would rig a bait that's solid rings would want to kind of end in a weird spot. It would want to finish in the tip of a ring or in between two rings, and you're always trying to fight to get it right in just the right little sweet spot, because I always wanted mine kind of towards the tip of a ring because that puts us closest to the edge. The solid top of this bait, it just eliminates all those problems. You can see when I rig this what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna put the ring side down, and I'm gonna rig this on this wobble head, and I can come through. I can make the hook point hit that center line, and the hook lays perfectly on top of that bait. I mean, it's as perfect as you could ask for, and you can never do that with a bait that has all the little stair step rings. The other thing I like about the fact that the body has doesn't have the rings is the fact that it makes the bait have a little more solid mass, and that solid mass actually makes the bait a little bit heavier. So when I'm flipping and pitching, especially with a real light sinker, just plinking around shallow wood cover, boat docks, things like that, the heavier mass of this bait aids in letting the bait be easier to cast. In other words, I can flip this bait more accurately on say a 3/16 ounce sinker than I can a plastic bait that weighs less. Another thing I like about the slick side of this bait, I use this style bait a lot as a jig trailer, or a bladed jig trailer, or a swim jig trailer, or a skipping jig trailer. I use this bait a lot on a buzz bait. The solid side of this, if you rig it basically upside down, now you're putting the solid side down, will enable you to skip this bait, like under boat docks or under cypress trees or whatever you may want to skip it under, skip it back in willow bushes. That solid surface on this bait will enable you to skip it a tremendous amount better. So that's some of the things about the Bug. It's got more features to it than that, but those are the main key points that I kind of wanted to show you guys. Again, it comes in 2 sizes. I've got a lot of different colors. This is Twisted Green Pumpkin Purple, Habanero, Dark Watermelon Red, Bama Bug, and then I've got your standard green pumpkins, and some of my old school colors that I've always liked, like Green Pumpkin Green and things like that, are also going to be available in this. So y'all check the Bug out. Now y'all know a little bit more about what it's about. Just wanted to kind of talk through it. I've had a lot of people ask me some questions about, hey, what makes your Bug different from bait X or bait Y or bait Z, because there's so many baits on the market now. Well, now you know from me. I designed it, I built them, and that's my description of it.